Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church in person and online worship. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we're so glad you are with us. My name is Tina A2U. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. We are growing a community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. Welcome to those at home who are joining us on Zoom. If you're attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. This morning, we also welcomed the Reverend Christina Sillari. Reverend Christina is former minister of the First Parish in Portland and currently serving as part-time minister in Augusta, Maine. So we're very glad you're with us. Thank you. Some announcements this morning. Our RE program is happening outside, and any children should meet now outside on the playground who are going to be participating in RE today. Also, our Social Justice Committee is here to answer questions about our activities, which focus mostly on getting out the vote. Please stop by the social justice table outside during coffee and social time to meet us and learn more. If you're in the sanctuary this morning, we invite you to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that you can be fully present. We're so glad you have joined us. After the service, please join us for coffee and conversation outside. And now let us center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the bell.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Dale. Love that bell. It's good to be here. Good morning. Our call to worship this morning is called Threshold, and it's by Welsh poet and Anglican priest R.H. Thomas. I emerge from the mind's cave into the worse darkness outside, where things pass and God is in none of them. I have heard the still, small voice, and it was that of the bacteria demolishing my cosmos. I have lingered too long on the threshold, but where can I go? To look back is to lose the soul. I was leading upwards towards the light. To look forward, what balance is needed at the edges of such an abyss? I am alone on the surface of a turning planet. What to do but, like Michelangelo's Adam, put my hand into unknown space, hoping for the reciprocating touch. Please join in singing our opening hymn, number 9. I don't think I've ever sung this before. Longer forward nor behind. Dale says it's easy to sing. Right, Dale? closer. Maybe if I put it down. Is that better? Okay. So our child setting words are called for liminal times, and they're by Summer El by AT, and she's a A2U Muslim of Iraqi descent. In betwixt and in between, we move in the liminal spaces that show shades of what can become, what can be. We light this chalice as a symbol of courage to move into the time of this and that, and not this and not that, with patience and faith and love and hope. And this time will pass, like the sun that moves in between rising and setting, reminding us that beauty resounds in betwixt and in between. You are a freely gathered, open and welcoming faith community supported by your contributions. Each week, 1/3 of your offering, which is awesome, is given away to a nonprofit organization whose mission aligns with Unitarian Universalist principles. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Greater Portland Family Promise, whose mission is to help low-income families and families experiencing homelessness achieve sustainable independence. You can find more information about Family Promise in your order of service. So donations can be made now in the basket as it's passed, or through the donate button on the website, A2U2.org, or if you are a member on Breeze. If giving through Breeze, please remember if the donation is your pledge or a gift to Share the Plate, you have to choose. And you may also send a check to the church. If you're visiting for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, the offering will be collected and gratefully received. Thank you, choir. Nice to hear you. Liminality is a suspended time of sacred nothingness. And it's a secret desire I carry in my being. I'm forever longing for liminal space, that space in between here and there, and nowhere, where I no longer know who I am. Because this is where and how I grow and change. It's how I become more of who I am. As a child and young adult, liminal experiences were plentiful, naturally occurring. In nature, I remember once being in the arboretum in Jamaica Plain. I climbed a tree, and I was lying on the tree, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I fell asleep or was dreaming, but I really felt like I'd become one with the tree. With friends, I used to play games of staring into each other's eyes and changing form, and then sleeping. I would have out-of-body experiences and strange dreams about beings. And these things would spontaneously occur, and I would find myself dissolving. And then my mind would surrender to some unknown field of energy, whence I would eventually emerge, transformed. I still occasionally have these experiences, but not as often as I wish. Liminal, from the Latin, means threshold. We can experience liminality in a physical space. That uneasy feeling of being hyper-aware and uncertain, maybe even unsafe. Have you ever walked through a city very late at night, or just missed the train in an underground subway station, or been alone in a beautiful big building, or been somewhere strange in the natural world? Somewhere where the space feels out of its normal context and purpose and puts you on the threshold of two different realities. This experience of interdimensionality is often used as a powerful setting for storytelling, beginning with one of America's first short stories, Rip Van Winkle. Some of our favorite stories portray the heroic figure leaving the safety of their home and traveling into dangerous and bizarre otherworld places. Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Morpheus in The Matrix, Diana in Wonder Woman, Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, Jen Yu in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They all experience what Carl Jung calls individuation, a movement through liminal time and space from disorientation to integration. Our lives may not be as dramatic and magical as a book or a movie, although things do feel or have felt like a horror flick in these past few years. But this idea of leaving something safe And entering an unknown, scary landscape is something we have all experienced. Moving into a new home or a place, graduating from school, getting divorced, leaving or losing a job, retiring, aging, or experiencing the loss of a loved one can all leave us betwixt and between. We have left what was or was taken from us, but haven't yet inhabited what's next. When is the last time you experienced liminality or a liminal change? Well, all of you did last night when you were sleeping. Sleeping is a liminal space that we hopefully have every evening. We may sense liminality in the early morning when we are floating in and out of sleep. Deep in the night, we may be dreaming, unaware of where we are or what is real. Yet as daylight calls us back into three-dimensional awareness, we re-enter the linear world of structure and form. 19th century Belgian folklorist Arnold van Gennep says there are 3 stages of liminality during rituals and rites of passage. 1, the ending of something or the separation from ordinary life. 2, embodying the margin or limen, a state of limbo or the unknown where there is potential and possibility. 3, re-aggregation, returning to the secular or mundane world with transformed awareness or an altered state of consciousness. These stages also apply to regular life transitions. However, in seasons of waiting, this crossing over space where we have left something behind and are not yet fully in something else can feel perilous and create anxiety. As a result, we may dig our heels in and avoid making the transition. We'll stay in the lousy marriage, wait a few more years before moving, put up with oppression from an employer, or postpone our retirement until we have more money. When we finally do enter a transition, many of us will try to get through it as quickly as possible, leaping to what's next so we can feel comfortable and sane once again. This is a mistake. Liminal space is vital to our well-being as it shakes us out of our habitual lives into different realities and perspectives. Some Native people call this crazy time, as this waiting and wondering can bring us face to face with our deepest fears about who we are, how we show up in the world, and where we are going. Liminal space invites us to surrender to the unknown so we can experience something new. It requires trust and letting go, allowing parts of who we are to dissolve. It means releasing the past because we cannot see where we are going if we keep looking back. It means arriving at the essence of our soul, which is true and pure. Liminality requires us to be vulnerable, experiencing our losses and disappointments, but then to open ourselves to the unknown so that we can enter this place of divinity and find strength. There's a place in the soul where you've never been wounded, wrote the mystic Meister Eckhart. This is the sacred place we are seeing, this place in the soul that we've never been wounded. So how do we get there? What needs to dissolve in us right now to be able to enter this liminality. This week was a busy, crazy week for me, and I was just going from one thing to the other. And I did my usual things to get to this place of liminality. You know, I walked, I meditated, I did some shamanic journeying. I was seeking this mysterious landscape to travel through and wanted to share a cool experience, right? No ego there. But that's not how spirit works, we know. So I just gave up. And I was exhausted, and I was craving to lie on the earth. And my front lawn is I live around the corner on Summit Street, and it's right next to the road, and the grass is very dry, and, you know, there's bugs and ticks and whatever, dogs pee on it. But I had this desire to just lie down right on my front lawn. And I did. And it was just amazing because the earth just took me. And the blue sky was there, and I could hear the birds. And I just relaxed, and my heart, this big heart space, started to open. And I started to feel the grief and sadness of, you know, all the people that are going through stuff in my life and state of this world, and it actually set me free. Being in that liminal space set me free. I mean, we are all living in a liminal space. I mean, life is that, because death is next, right? But right now we're living it because of the virus. It catapulted us into this liminal space, and we can choose to fight against this space and struggle, or we can flow with it, sensing, listening, responding, and that's part of what you do here, right, in community. Because our transformation and our evolution as a species requires us to enter liminal space time and time again. And as a world, I think we've been avoiding it. And in church community, we have a place to enter it. Theologian is my favorite Christian theologian who's alive today, Richard Rohr. I don't know how many of you read him. He's great. He believes the unique and necessary function of religion is to lead us into this crazy liminal time. Instead, but that doesn't always happen, right? So he continues, instead, religion has largely become a confirmation of the status quo and business as usual. He goes on, religion should lead us into sacred space where deconstruction of the old normal can occur. The earth knows better. Perhaps our great mother, with all of her wisdom, is inviting us into this collective liminality so humanity can transform into something new and sustainable. This time we're living in is calling into question the very core of our beliefs, our practices, our identities. What are you questioning now in your life? So how do we navigate this crazy liminal time? First, we have to make friends with liminality. Allow ourselves to have feelings of loss, grief, sadness, anger. Anger can take us into liminality. And we move out of this familiar negativity that we hold on to because we're not expressing the emotion. Maybe we find someone to wait in the space with us because liminality can be scary alone. So we don't want to be in liminality all the time in isolation. We can write or sing or paint or garden or jog or meditate or just lie down on the earth. We can stay curious and positive. We can find heroic figures who have survived challenging liminal spaces. We just need to keep going. The thing is liminality requires faith. Faith that there's something beyond our wounds and the wounds of the world. Faith that we are truly not alone, but are held by something greater and wiser than us. If we take the time to pause and be, can we do that now? We can encounter this energy. Maybe it's God. Maybe it's universal consciousness. Maybe it's our ancestors or the earth. Maybe it's this church or humanity itself. Or maybe we simply put our hand out into the unknown space, hoping for a reciprocating touch. And if none of this feels doable or interesting or logical, and we wish to simply maintain equanimity in what Buddhists call the bardo, the time between death and rebirth, we can heed the advice of poet Dan Albergotti, who gave me permission to share this poem. Things to do in the belly of the whale. Measure the walls. Count the ribs. Notch the long days. Look up for the blue sky through the spout. Make small fires with the broken hulls of fishing boats. Practice smoke signals. Call old friends and listen for echoes of distant voices. Organize your calendar. Dream of the beach. Look each way for the dim glow of light. Work on your reports. Review each of your life's 10 million choices. Endure moments of self-loathing. Find the evidence of those before you. Destroy it. Try to be very quiet and listen for the sound of gears and moving water. Listen for the sound of your heart. Be thankful that you are here, swallowed with all hope, where you can rest and wait. Be nostalgic. Think of all the things you did and could have done. Remember treading water in the center of the still night sea, your toes pointing again and again down, down into the black depths. May we dive into these liminal spaces often and stay in them as long as possible. This time is so sacred. The old world is falling away, and a brighter, more expansive world is being revealed. Let us not be trapped in normalcy. Without liminal spaces, we idealize normalcy, which is what got us in this predicament. I love this quote by Brené Brown. We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all humanity and nature. In order to stitch a new garment, create a new life, and a healthy, just, sustainable world, we must welcome liminality, where the spirit of life is alive, where the holy dwells, where our souls are not wounded, and where freedom is possible. All transformation begins here. Let's sing. Number 22, Dear Weaver of Our Life's Design. Please be seated. So remembering, even though I'm extinguishing the chalice, this light is the light of your community and your congregation. It dwells on, right, in the days and weeks ahead. And our benediction is from Patrick Overton from The Leaning Tree. When you walk to the edge of all the light you have and take that first step into the darkness of the unknown, you must believe that one of two things will happen. There will be something solid for you to stand upon, or you'll be taught to fly.